Peaceful sleep is a wonderful thing we all cherish. But when your dreams are haunted by the man your parents burned alive, sleep can be a challenge. If you are being eaten by penis monsters in your nightmares, Hypnosil might be the right choice for you. Hypnosil is designed to suppress potentially harmful dreams. Ask your doctor if Hypnosil is right for you. Do not take Hypnosil if you are a recovering drug addict. Hypnosil does not increase your ability to create a diorama. Hypnosil should not be confused with Rohypnol and will not work as an effective date rape drug. Hypnosil may cause drowsiness, insomnia, diarrhea, constipation, suicidal thoughts, coma, or even death. Hypnosil does not protect you from being pulled into other people's nightmares. It's time to take control of your dreams with Hypnosil. As voted by you, this week's Not Quite Final Girl is Taryn White from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Truth be known, somebody's vote weighed a little more heavily than everyone else's. After I did 2 of these videos, I had my harshest critic critique my videos, and I ended up with 4 pages of notes from the critique, and in the margin, I saw this. Yeah, my daughter. This was one of the movies that we started watching over and over and over when she was really young. We would belt out Into the Fire. And so obviously it's got a special place in our hearts, and clearly Taryn has a very special place in her heart. So this is for Kat as well.
Okay, asshole. Let's dance.
I apologize for those of you who thought that I would dress up like Taryn, but that cosplay is rather expensive, and there's no way in hell that my hair would ever do that shit. But I do have the beautiful and bad shirt. The iconic dream warrior Taryn White was Jennifer Rubin's first acting role. She was a student at the University of Arizona and one day stumbled upon a modeling competition, entered it, and won. She dropped out of school, moved to New York, and was signed by the prestigious Ford modeling agency. In 1984, she was voted Ford's top model of the year and was chosen by David Lynch to be the first obsession girl in the Calvin Klein perfume ads. I guess sometimes dropping out of school is a good thing. She landed a few big roles over the next few years. In 1988, she played the lead in Bad Dreams, another horror movie. In 1991, she played Edie Sedgwick in the movie The Doors. And in 1993, she was in the fabulous teenage psychodrama The Crush with Alicia Silverstone. That was pretty much the end of her It Girl phase. And she's acted pretty consistently since the 90s, but it's been mostly in straight-to-video, low-rent kind of movies. She does, however, make the horror convention circuit, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting her and many of the other Dream Warriors last summer. I'm not going to bore you with the story, but if you're interested in knowing how I got to be an honorary Dream Warrior, I'll tack that on at the end, and you can turn it off if you don't care. Jennifer's actually said that making the convention circuit has been a great thing for her because she has been surprised and elated at the number of recovered drug addicts who have thanked her for her portrayal of Taryn. She was a very strong role model for them in their dark times when they needed one. Yeah, horror movies are just garbage, aren't they? Taryn is a patient at Western Hills Psychiatric Hospital with other kids who are in a program for severely sleep-disordered youth. Each of them is terrified of sleeping and has gone to great lengths to keep from sleeping before admitted. Taryn's method was drugs. Now, I don't usually encourage the use of narcotic street drugs in anyone, especially teenagers, but I think in this case, Taryn had the right idea. If you're being stalked by a razor-handed psychopath in your dreams, tweaking is probably a good coping mechanism. I mean, Diet Coke, cigarettes, and no-dos can only get you so far, kids. She's not looking so hot when we first meet her, but she is rockin' with Dawkin. However, she does seem to have a sunny disposition. Despite detoxing in a children's ward, she's even learning to play retarded role-playing games with the geeks. We also get to see that Taryn's drug use was not by her choice, that this was simply a coping mechanism. She isn't even tempted by the greasy orderly dangling the dispensary keys in her face. Why is there one of these guys in every movie in psychiatric hospitals? One of their own takes a walk out the window, so Nancy gets to finally tell them about who's stalking them in their dreams. And she tells them what they have to do in order to fight him. They must invoke their dream powers. Most of them aren't incredibly imaginative or useful, but Taryn's is badass.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful. And bad.
Their first joint journey into dreamland doesn't go so well. Joey ends up in a coma from being tongue-banged by Nurse Freddy, and Nancy and Dr. Gordon get the boot from the hospital. As those two seek out help from Nancy's drunk dad, Taryn frantically pages the doctor because Kristen's been put in the quiet room and been sedated, and she's incredibly vulnerable. How did this teenage patient get this doctor's pager number? All right, the Dream Warriors are ready to band together and go into the fire! Sorry, I had to do that. Taryn ends up in a seedy back alley, and she seems very unimpressed by Freddy's expression of love for her. I know that when my horror icon did the same thing for me, I was over the moon. Some women are just impossible to sweep off their feet, I swear. She regains her composure quickly, gets out the switchblades, and is ready to fight. She actually thinks she's knocked Freddy down a bit, but he shows her his neon blue hypodermics, and that's enough to get her arms fiending. Notice, he only has needles on his 8 fingers, not his thumbs. But each of her arms has 5 little hungry mouths. You can't help but feel sorry for the 2 that didn't get a fix. I'm not sure that any Not Quite Final Girl has had such a brave and memorable exit from their movie. She put her life on the line to defend the kids in the hospital without even flinching. Plus, she really rocks that mohawk. So for that, Taryn, you are a Not Quite Final Girl who is beautiful and bad. Brad, He-Man Jason is pretty much upright. Are you happy? My Summer Vacation and How I Became an Honorary Dream Warrior by Becca Reinhardt. Okay. This is the boring part. You can skip through this if you want. So this past summer, I went to Days of the Dead, which is a convention, a horror convention. I live in Indianapolis, and we are lucky enough to have not one, but 2 fabulous horror conventions every year, and we have for about the last decade. And these things are really awesome. I've gone to a lot of them, had a lot of fun. This past summer, I had some personal things going on, and I got the email, because I'm on their newsletter, of course, that Days of the Dead was going to be on my birthday. I thought, hey, that sounds kind of fun. Then I got an email saying, and our main person is Gene Simmons, which is like my childhood idol. I've had a crush on him since I was 3. So I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna get hotel, VIP badge. I got a photo op set up with Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding. Was like, I'm just going to go balls to the wall and have fun. So I went there, and the horror gods must have been smiling down on me because from the very beginning, I had a series of serendipitous, once-in-a-lifetime situations that just were awesome. So first person that I even talked to, I sat down at the bar because I was early, and the guy I was talking to was Sid Haig's friend. So I ended up having dinner with Sid Haig that night and worked out the best birthday photo that anybody could ever have. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. So, I got to see Gene Simmons' hairpiece up close and personal. I'm still not sure what it's made out of. I even got felt up by Jake Busey. It was a pretty fabulous weekend. Now, most of the Dream Warriors were there. And I had the VIP badge. When you have a VIP badge at this convention, you get to line jump. So the tables were set up in a row. I line jumped for Heather Langenkamp, talked to her. And then the next one was the Wizard Master. Somebody was already talking to him, so I line jumped behind that guy. And as soon as I got there, the Wizard Master, started scurrying around and kind of getting all of the other Dream Warriors together. And I was like, okay. Well, the guy who was standing there had offered to pay $200 to get his picture taken with all of them. Well, Kincaid's nephews were there. By the way, upstanding young men. If anybody wants to say that the youth of America suck, these guys were probably 19, 20, and they were there raising money for a charity for inner city youth and supporting their uncle. So there you go. Very much evidence to the contrary. But anyway, so one of Kincaid's nephews was taking the pictures. And I happened to be standing there, and he grabbed my phone and just said, "Get in there." And I'm like, okay. So I end up getting into the big Dream Warrior picture, and obviously I got a copy of it. Now, this lady on the end, if anybody knows who she is, let me know, because I think she just jumped in. I think she just happened to be talking to one of them, and I don't think anybody had her phone, so she probably doesn't have a copy of this. But the guy behind me basically paid $200 for me to photobomb. I can imagine that he probably shows this picture to people and tells everybody I was like Patricia Arquette's stunt double or something like that. So anyway, I got to be a Dream Warrior 30 seconds of my life, and it was beautiful. And Kincaid made me rub his belly like a Buddha. The Dream Warriors. Oh yeah. I didn't show you guys this. So, when I met all the Dream Warriors, I got this cool ass print from an artist who was at the convention. The name of the company is Vile Comics. I've seen them before, like in some different magazines, but basically I had all of them sign it. It was really cool. I'll put a close-up picture because then you can see that Jennifer Rubin put, "To Rebecca, in our dreams, we're beautiful and bad."